afternoon and welcome to sun-drenched Family Road. This NPL Tasmania contest between Port Strikers and Blue. About getting the kick-off here this afternoon. Very quick underway. Nathan Code in the centre, making sure everything's running just about on time as Devonport attack to the right of your screen against the Glenorchy Knights, first v second in the NPL Tasmania. 1 point separating both sides, a humongous game, especially now the game in hand has been played. Devonport with a week off last week, owing to the game they had at Aurora or Utah Stadium back in April. So everyone now on the exact same amount of games, 1 point between them as Knights keep possession here. And joining myself, Paul Hunt, in the Slice of Cheese commentary box here this afternoon, a familiar voice to you all, Andrew Cooling, welcome back.
Yeah, pleasure to be here, Paul. Thought I'd pry myself away for the Olympics just for this big potential title decider. The definitive one. They've still got to play again after today, but both of the Knights v Strikers games looming as enormous contests in settling the 2021 NPL Tasmania title race. The Strikers struck a tremendous blow in that with the 4-0 victory in the first of their 3 meetings this year, which has them at the advantage, but you can throw that away today. A new game, a new day. Doesn't matter how decisive the margin was last time, there's 3 more points up for grabs. And it's almost the type of scenario where a draw potentially probably works for Knights here today, I reckon, with that home game still to come against the Strikers down at KG5. What do you reckon, Paul?
Yeah, I certainly think they're going to aim not to concede here first, as that's a pretty strong challenge. Advantage paid from Nathan Code in the centre. Schmidt now wanting a foul, and will it roll out for a corner? It won't. The cross eventually comes in, a crucial head at the near post. There from a returning Raph Reynolds. And that one cleared out of play, but we'll quickly go through the lineups for you for the Strikers. And it will go as it is on the team sheet. Toby Barton, Charles Bidwell, Eddie Bidwell, Brody Dennehy, Jordan Lamb, up to Kieran Mulroney, who's on the ball. Has it charged down from Jack Bowman, Connor Park, Nathan Pitchy Pitchford, Raph Reynolds, Joel Stone and Daniel Sison. So a pretty stable lineup there for Devonport. Raph Reynolds has spent a couple of weeks out with his shoulder problem, and Charles Bidwell missing a couple of games recently as well, but the rest familiar names across the whole season. As Glenorchy Knights with Tyler Harrison throwing that one in. Been called back for a free kick, and give us time to go through the Knights very quickly. Jack Bowman, Eduardo Castaneda, Tyler Harrison, Lockie Hart in goals, Lucas the Mountain Hill, Eli Lutmer, Nick Mearns, Geordie Muller, Nick Naden, Connor Schmidt and Austin Yost as well. And we'll go through the subs maybe at the second half, not expecting too many in this game. Devonport in particular, known for making no subs till about the 85th minute really in a fair few games this year.
Yeah, you can be patient pulling the trigger as the free kick sent into the area, immediately repelled away there. And the Strikers will look to launch a bit of a counter-attack here. Just a little bit too far out ahead though as Harrison sweeps across and just goes safety first. Maybe had a little bit more time there, but safety first from the Knights' experienced defender. Bidwell now with some room, and he'll punch a long ball across the face and connects with his teammate here, and it's a shot over the top. It was hit ferociously there, not too far away from Lockie Hart's goal. Might have been Sison getting on it, but the Strikers with a statement of intent early there.
Certainly is, and Eddie Bidwell completely fooling me there for the first 3 minutes. Has had a significant haircut since last week or the weekend before. Really not used to the almost the number one all over there that Eddie Bidwell's had, as the free kick goes the way of the Strikers. Glorious sunshine at Valley Road this afternoon. Not often the case in August. Remember a fair few crucial title deciding games down the years, played in all sorts of mud and wind and rain. I can think of one against South Hobart a couple of years ago in particular, a real mud bath up there, but it is perfect conditions for football this afternoon as Joel Stone stands over the set piece. Eddie Bidwell, Jordan Lamb, the only ones back as Stone goes near post, flicked on but right into the comfortable arms of Lockie Hart. A nice early touch for the keeper. He rolls it out to the captain, Harrison. Schmidt forward towards Austin Yost, mid-season signing from the Olympia Warriors. Now, Lucas Hill. Bowman dinks that one forward in the direction of Nick Naden. As you say, Devonport probably wanting to take advantage of this crucial home game. They usually have such a good record at Valley Road. It's almost, sometimes they've won it before the game's even started, such as their dominance at Valley Road, just mentally, the side's having to travel up to Devonport as Bowman thought about the long throw. Doesn't have too many options. In the end, goes into the 18-yard box. Reynolds. It looks like everyone from Devonport's been to the barber lately, as he's rocking a few blonder look there, Raph Reynolds, than normal.
Yeah, a few fresh salads out there for the big occasion today as the Strikers look to make something happen here in attack. The ball slid through on the left. Knights defence across to deal with it. Eventually it'll be swung in towards the back post. Headed away though. Comes back down. Schmidt scrapping away there. Up against Eddie Bidwell. Bidwell driving to the byline, trying to go around the outside. Just keeping him out. And there'll be just the goal kick, so well defended. Bidwell tried to get round there, but the Knights defence holding firm.
Good bit of local knowledge there from Eddie Bidwell as well, trying to make sure the opponent didn't go careering into the corrugated iron. We've seen that a few times here at Valley Road. Can be a little bit of a safety hazard on occasion.
Lucas Hill just skewing that one out of play. Not too much purchase on that clearance. Connor Park, the ever reliable fullback, throws it to Stone. Bidwell's cross in. Repelled away once more. And the ball's into the area at the moment from the Devonport Strikers to start this one as the ball into midfield, into dispute. Plenty of bodies back there. All the boys from the Portress here. Played for by Toby Barton. Always in favour of Tyler Harrison though. Steers it away from Sison.
Devonport have got very, very tall in defence. Not too much height up front, particularly with the absence of the Fox in the box, Miles Barnard, for the rest of the season. So having to go a more creative route for goals. Not that that's seemed to stop them scoring goals in the last few weeks, that's for sure. But does rule out one potential outlet. But they are so deadly from corners, as anyone who watched the game against Riverside a couple of weeks ago. Toby Barton as well, as they've been in good goal scoring form. Connor Park as well. This cross goes way too deep for everyone. Barton keeps it in. Good interception from Bowman, and he keeps it in again. No one up ahead, but manages to win the throw-in. Off the better Bidwell, Charles Bidwell. Crowd in attendance at Valley Road, bumper day of football with the Women's Super League game versus Taroona on before this, a 5-1 win to the home side.
Fairly emphatic, that one.
Yeah, against bottom place Taroona, who've been pretty good in most games. I've watched them so far this season, but Devonport Strikers always hard to beat as Pitchford gets himself into a bit of trouble there, wins the throw-in. I think he wanted a bit more help coming the other way there, Pitchy.
Yeah, not quite on the same page there, but as ever, manages to get himself out, as that's an ugly-looking challenge that earns the ire, and straight into the book goes Nick Mearns with the first slice of cheese for the afternoon, and no complaints there. Pretty easy one for Nathan Code to be dishing out.
It was one of the easiest decisions I reckon Cody will have all day. So you can see what Mearns was trying to do. He was trying to pass it back towards Connor Schmidt, who was running the other way, but got zero of the ball and crunched into the Strikers player, and that is an early slice of cheese for the Knights, particularly by NPL Tasmania standards. They usually do let a fair bit go, as that one's come off Naden last. Bowman didn't quite realise that. Now out of position, and Mulroney tries to knock it over his head, but great recovery speed from the archer. As Mulroney goes again. Dennehy dropping very deep from his central striking position. As Hill dinks that one forward. Pitchford comfortably collecting. Stone flicks it on towards Jordan Lamb. Plenty of space to run into. He just loses his balance before losing the ball. Does Lamb. Touch off Barton. Does look like a pretty standard 5 at the back for the Strikers. Been rolling with that for most of the season.
Amazing, the swings and roundabouts in football. It's back in fashion now. Of course, it was probably more called the back 3 back in back in the day. Now it's back 5. Kind of varies if you're in or out of possession, I guess. But always funny how various formations go in and out of vogue.
Haven't quite resorted to the very traditional sweeper of that back 3 that's really popular in Tassie early 2000s. Leighton loved a sweeper here. Was still playing that in socials about 10 years ago. One day that'll be back in fashion.
Team's got so good at exploiting the offside trap, I think.
But when you watch old clips, I think it's a 97 cup final that's up on YouTube, and it's just someone playing 30 yards deep the whole game. Yeah, really is of a bygone era, but one day might be back in fashion. You never know. As Mulroney clears that one into the grandstand. Pretty even first 11 minutes here at Valley Road. So much to play for. The NPL title is Charles Bidwell up against Mearns, stabbed clear by Reynolds. Connor Park clearing that one down the sideline. Dennehy, they're going to have to really play the ball into feet as much as possible here when getting it forward, the Strikers. And I'd hate for them to play a little too similarly to how the Matildas did the other night against USA, where deciding to lob aimless long balls to a not that tall Sam Kerr. I hope that isn't repeated here this afternoon.
First game or second game?
Well, true.
Because the first game, just both teams just agreeing to get a point. Don't think we'll see that today, thankfully.
I should say bronze medal game. The aimless passing out of the back was one of the most frustrating things I've watched in a long time. With a similar type striking setup here that the Strikers have. Let's hope they don't get sucked into that, as Barton thought he managed to clear it into touch. Has 2 or 3 goes at doing it. Now, Joel Stone. 5 black shirts around him.
Yeah, draws a crowd, doesn't he? I reckon James Sherman would have put his charges on high alert about the need to not give that man space in the final third. Because for several years now, he has just been absolutely making teams pay full price when they afford him too much room. Here's the gifted Austin Yost. Just got underneath that one a little too much. And fires it well over the top. He's capable from that sort of range though, Yost. Very skillful player, but didn't quite catch that one as he would have liked. A lovely sharp turn though.
Indeed there from Austin Yost. Made his name in the NPL Tas with a long-range scorcher for the Warriors against Lonnie City. And might have had a similar type goal in his mind, but the execution not quite there. Going well over the top. But good to see the Knights not being overawed by the occasion at all. Obviously these two playing in the Lakers Cup final this year as well. And it's in the back on Bowman. And eventually the assistant referee or someone calls it. A few choice words for our standing referee in the middle.
Got there in the end, I think. So do I have to? Yeah, I suppose I probably should flag. It was pretty blatant, no?
Yeah, I think the assistant referee was on the same mindset you were there too. Calling as Reynolds gets that one clear. A lot of action coming down the shaded side of the ground here. So far, that's Connor Park's head. There's been a few Knights fans around the camera area as well. It's not often you see something so partisan to the away side at Valley Road coming through the camera effects, Mike.
He might have made the trip up. Big game and a chance here. Perhaps the shot charged down and cleared away again. Nick Mearns trying to make something happen, but the shot was well blocked. Does some good work operating in those spaces. Now this one will just spill out the back for Tyler Harrison, who absolutely blasts it on out of that. And we'll get a throw in further up the field, so desired result. Quarter of an hour gone at Valley Road. A lot of chances in the early going here as the Knights try to get down the right through Nick Naden. A good sliding challenge from the Canadian, Raph Reynolds. A very, very loud salad. Second loudest Canadian football thing in the last 24 hours, probably. I think they'll be still partying today after their gold medal triumph, as Muller couldn't quite get onto that one. Nice spill for them, but Yost was there, worked it back to Muller. And then a fairly blatant shirt grab will earn him a slice of cheese. Probably the right decision though, because it did look like they might get exposed a little back the other way.
Look, they didn't have every possible player behind the ball, but it's very early to be taking one of those tactical ones. That's 2 players carded in the first 20 minutes. And I tell you what, if there's one side that knows how to exploit yellow cards of the opposition, it's the Devonport Strikers. And just thinking on the replay there, I mean, Dennehy was making that forward run, but Lutmer was coming across.
Yeah, on replay, I think you're right. Bad decision.
It's not going to be called. Still staying on his feet is Joel Stone. Look at the amount of Knights players around in this fullback. He's trying to get out of what is the size of a phone booth. And eventually, that's going to be quite difficult. You can just see them swarm around Joel Stone. Fantastic goal against Riverside on that cold Tuesday night. As the cross comes in. Cleared by Hill. Yost thumping that one high towards Naden, who wins there and gets clattered into afterwards. Play allowed to continue. I guess we're saying Devonport, not too many aimless long balls. Probably should be the same for Knights. Both sides similarly built at the moment, with very tall, strong defences and not quite the same height in attack.
Back here, ref. Back here.
Bowman clearing that one into touch. Still only really Austin Yost's half chance early on, the only real chance of the game so far. Flicked on by Dennehy. Mearns. Cleared by Barton. Now Charles Bidwell. Plenty of space on the subs bench side of the ground. Getting it forward. Sison chasing after this one with Tyler Harrison also there. And corner given. Very good chase there from the salad artist Daniel Sison. Devonport get the tall timber forward. It's going to be Stone. Over this one, that's a better delivery right underneath the keeper, but a good claim there from Lockie Hart.
Strong hands. Decisive there from Lockie Hart.
Particularly as he's known to, it's more to punch it out, Lockie Hart, rather than claim it in those situations. So that's a nice confidence booster for the keeper.
Yeah, probably the area of his game he's probably been looking to work on a bit this year. The area could improve a bit upon, and showing some great handling there. Just gives you, as a defensive unit, so much more confidence. And you know your goalie's just going to be able to go out and pluck those ones in those areas and take care of business. But strong there from Lockie Hart, and keeper's always going to be vital in these types of games where it could just come down to 1 or 2 chances either way. Goalie can so often be the difference.
That's why it helps having a Golden Glove award winner in goal for Devonport Strikers. Won so many over the past few years as Pitchy.
That's been a big part of their success, isn't it? You know, Giansopoulos and Pitchford having that star keeper in the league. It goes a long way towards winning the league, being able to have, you know, the best keeper in the competition, be able to bank on that.
Absolutely. Oh, Nicky G. He's doing well back in Canada in the Canadian Premier League now that that's a thing. Or whatever the real version of the CPL is. I know the acronym, I couldn't tell you what it stands for. Last time I saw him play, he was playing in the middle of an equestrian venue, so I hope things have improved slightly for him.
Must have been in Alberta. Definitely Alberta.
Yeah, it was out that way. I was very confused as that one goes forward and cleared by the Knights. Connor Schmidt gets it up towards halfway when Naden continues his ongoing battle with the Canadian Raph Reynolds. Canadian themed NPL broadcast so far now that I think about it. There's Muller. Cleared by Lutmer. Yost helps it on. Naden up against Reynolds and manages to get it, but again, enough blue and yellow shirts back. Backspin on that one's going to keep it in play as Naden holds it up and Knights have a throw in a promising position. Schmidt towards Castaneda. Back towards Hill, who moves it forward quickly. Not the best clearance there from Charles Bidwell, but in the end, Connor Park helps his teammate out. Flick on by the strikers, and now Stone with a bit of room to move in, but not quite that much room as Schmidt comes across. No foul given on that occasion, but Schmidt wins the throw in. You can tell there's plenty on the line in this game, not terribly open and expansive contest, which necessarily expect in a game like this.
No, I didn't come here expecting free-flowing end-to-end type action. It's always going to be more of a grind here this afternoon. Two very good disciplined defensive units who want to make that first mistake. We might see it open up a little more late on if either team feels too adventurous, but at the end of the day, the Strikers currently have top spot. The Knights, well, have got a home game in the bag to come out of the two big games to go, so interesting to see what both sides' motivations will be late on in the game in terms of how expansive and how risky they are. He's trying to get down the right is Connor Park, trying to get in behind of Jack Bowman, who's stretching to deal with him once more. Never reliable. He's the archer. Park takes the throw in quick, gets it back to the dazzling Joel Stone. Just lost a hold of the football there, though. Foul. Going on, Yost working back in defence. So halfway through the first half, both sides with one shot from range that was quite on target. Sison and Yost, but beyond that, chances at an absolute premium thus far, Paul Hunt.
Yeah, it's not going the way of most NPL Tasmania games we see. That's sort of the tangent I was trying to get to a bit before. Usually a lot more chances created either by a wonderful play or the occasional mistake, as again, another player goes flying through the air, this time play on Lutmer, on Brody Dennehy. Headed clearance goes out of play, and we do send our well wishes to the Fox in the box, out for probably about 12 months now, missing the rest of this season, and then his cricket commitments as well, the great dual sport athlete that Miles Barnard is.
Yeah, shame to see someone with a long-term injury, but all the best to the Fox in the box. It has provided a hell of a lot of memories for the Strikers faithful in this little dynasty. Scorer of many an important goal. I'll never forget that little left foot number away in Victoria that time. Delightful.
Absolutely. And the celebration as well, and then bragging about that celebration on social media for years afterwards. It never gets old. And it gets replayed on FFA Cup channels. As Pitchford launches this one long, obviously Devonport meant to be playing in the FFA Cup later this month. Whether that goes ahead, who on earth knows. Even if it's an FFA Cup minus all the New South Wales teams, even that's looking pretty difficult at the moment.
Yeah, no inside info whatsoever, but I'd have to have thought pretty unlikely. As the Strikers sauntering forward here, this is starting to open up. Joel Stone getting to work, and the cross almost a shot in the end, tried to sneak it in near post on Lockie Hart, who palms that one over the top for a corner. Covering his angles nicely there, the Knights number one.
Man, always tricky at that near post, especially with your defender sliding in right in front of you. Sometimes you almost don't want them to touch it in fear of the deflection, but the Strikers have another corner. This one going right underneath Lockie Hart. This time he punches towards the top of the box and sets himself and tripped clearly. Here's Jordan Lamb. And I've got to say, this might just be a smidge too far out for Joel Stone, but I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, probably slightly further out than he ideally would pick, but it's very much in his territory, and he's got this in his locker, that's for sure. Syson pretty proficient over the dead ball as well, lurking, but you'd have to think Stone is the man for this occasion.
Yeah, they still this season always converge and have a chat. 90% of the time it's Joel Stone. Rarely is it anyone else. Sometimes from this range, I don't mind with the laces with the centre back move here from about this range as well.
Raph Reynolds just lurking behind the ball.
He's going for the Roberto Carlos-esque run-up should he decide to pull rank, but I think this is going to be Stoney's.
Pretty much dead centre, so he can go either side. He wants here Joel Stone, and he'll step up and bend it down. Not quite enough. It was diffing, but not quite sharply enough. Pretty good contact from Stone, but just wide of the mark once again.
Not too far out. Again, got plenty of dip on it. It's Jack Bowman and the referee having a chat in the middle of the park. Lockie Hart is going to take a long goal kick, one of the first of the match. Up to the head of Kieran Mulroney. Now Barton, who was in and out of the team last year, but really cemented that left centre-back spot as this season's gone on. Hart under pressure from Syson. He's towards the bench. Now Harrison, Strikers player, was forgetting what sport he was playing there for a moment with the hands up in the air. There's Mearns trying to go down the right sideline, well covered there from Lamb. It should be Lucas Hills, and is. Now Charles Bidwell with the outside of the boot. There's a raking ball in the Connor Park direction. First time ball towards Eddie Bidwell, and that's a crucial block at the near post with two Strikers charging in. Yost. Ambitious call for handball there by the Knights. Now Devonport. Chance just to settle it down. A few more touches as Reynolds forward to Bidwell. Now Mulroney, it's been good to see him being a bit more adventurous going forward the last few games. A bit more licence to do that playing as a part of the back 3/5. Park. And Bidwell. We're just seeing most sides get to that kind of 30-yard mark and then everyone sort of converging. It's happening whenever Joel Stone's trying to go through the middle. And then Bidwell and Park down the right as well. So we're letting the defence pass it around the back, but that's really the point where both sides are having a firmer press as Mearns flicks it on, cleared again by Reynolds. That one, a lovely fade towards the touchline. It's Knights. Not sure if they're doing it deliberately, but taking a little bit longer with their throw-ins. Just trying to shorten the game down a bit. Just using that time to allow the team to reset. Barton forward towards Lamb. It's the free kick. Nearly half an hour played here. Someone really needs to get team manager Nick Allen a cap there on the bench. That's going to make your arm sore if you're doing that for 90 minutes.
The sun absolutely beating down here on the venue. Arms going to the head as the long range hit is brought down, but the flag had gone up. So We'll take over. 30 minutes gone. cagey affair at Valley Road. Stakes very high. And there's a 1v2 clash in the NPL Tasmania. Devonport Strikers, powerhouse of Tasmanian football for much of the last decade, up against a team that's been probably the biggest threat to them in recent times. Haven't quite been able to get over the hump in the league, but big afternoon in their pursuit of the league title here this afternoon. But standing in their way, the champions.
Be quiet, Stephen.
Strikers outfit who've looked very, very solid in defence so far. As they'll launch this one along through Reynolds. Repelled away so far as Bidwell, but Bowman comes across and just blasts it several suburbs away.
Let's see if how that one turned up on Coley's camera, as he looked pretty prepared for that.
I heard you were pretty rough.
As that one's ended up on Valley Road 2, the artificial pitch.
Me?
It's behind the grandstand here.
He's Coley on camera duties too these days, is he? Jeez.
Jack of all trades is Coley, as Connor Park swings this one in. And that one headed up in the air, but Hart easily able to claim that one. Yeah, might have to start calling him a video journalist or something soon.
Just hope it doesn't interfere with his canteen watch duties.
That's what I was thinking. Like, how do you hold a chips and gravy from the Strikers canteen, a favourite of coastal food, and take some professional photography at the same time? As this is a lovely run from Lamb, wants to lay it off. He's got Bidwell and Dennehy waiting, and in the end goes towards Dennehy. Now to Bidwell, who scuffs his shot. Cleared by Hill. Brody Dennehy, leading scorer in the NPL Tasmania so far this season. Park immediately pressured, but Mearns couldn't quite launch the counter-attack. It's now Park. Stone immediately pressured by his fellow number 10. Barton. Plenty of time. Looks towards Sison, but nothing happening there. And now Schmidt. Towards Mearns. Get the return ball, can Connor Schmidt? He can. Plays another one inside towards Austin Yost. Tries to turn around as Yosty. Pitchford comes out. And Naden collects it for the Knights. Promising signs for the away side as Mearns drops it back off towards Naden. Stone. Whipped in. Cleared by Mulroney. This is better from the Glenorchy Knights in an attacking sense, as we definitely have a Glenorchy Knights fan sitting about 1 inch away from the camera.
Yeah, imploring the referee to give them a decision there, I think. Well defended in the end by the Strikers. The most consistent spell of pressure they've been under this half, and that an initial move that led to Yost turning in the box about as nice a passage as the Knights have strung together today, as Schmidt got heavily involved. Bit of time here for Connor Park to take his time controlling that one. Certainly up with the arm there to our friend in the crowd. And he clears that one, but Toby Barton was on hand just to shut down Yost there, and I thought he was absolutely impeccable back in the Lacquer Cup final, Toby Barton, and he's showing again today. A reliable defender, an important part of this side he's become. This one's nodded forward by Bidwell, whacked clear by Schmidt. The Strikers content just to work it around the back once more. Eventually they'll take off. Trying to make something happen here is Lamb. That gets broken up, and the Knights now roll into the middle of the park. Just losing his footing there was Nick Naden. Mulroney plays it short. Stone trying as he just grabs the shorts of Marty Castaneda there as he gets back up. A bit of cheek almost on two fronts as the Strikers trying to break through, but again, it's the Knights' defence that's rock solid.
I mean, we all know Joel Stone is a master of the dark arts. It's a really odd show here at the moment as go trying to have a chat here. Some potential afters. Two number 10s Probably the biggest one-on-one matchup of the game, and funnily enough, both getting a talking to from the referee in the first half. Joel Stone, never short of a word, is Stoney. I'm sure he'll be giving the complete millisecond by millisecond account of that to the referee.
Revels in such things as Joel Stone.
One's thumb cleared by the strikers, and Stone now going at it with Lucas Hill. Yost trying to keep possession with Mulroney rushing in behind him. Might not be many goals, but there's plenty of niggle in this first v second contest. There's now Geordie Muller towards Bowman. Mulroney winning that one. Dennehy. 10 minutes before half time. This game starting to come to life as there's now a wrestling match going on. Dennehy and Lucas Hill getting up with a few words for the referee, and you could just sense from about the last 3 minutes that something was going to happen.
Just starting to boil over a bit here, Valley Road. Temper's flaring a little.
Might seem slightly displeased at some potential refereeing decision going towards the home side. A conspiracy theory known down the land here in Tasmania.
It's amazing how every single club manages to be robbed every single week.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Sets of supporters.
Especially when it's every single home side. It's what always goes their way every game.
Remarkable, isn't it? It's like as if it's just random.
Or why it's called a conspiracy theory. Is Raph Reynolds and the Strikers end up with the free kick out of all that. Goes towards the near post, hard in a good starting position, but Barton gets there first. He goes again, and this time Lockie Hart claims at the second attempt. Bowman goes studs up there into Charles Bidwell, and he is not happy at that challenge in the slightest. The referee will do well to get in between here, as there was definitely a top leg there. Dennehy not happy. Cheeky attempt with a quick free kick, and it will be just a slice of cheese here from the referee.
Has Charles Bidwell gone, he's only going to get a yellow here, I'm going to try and get him a second yellow by kicking the ball straight at him? Is that what Charles has just done? I think it might be.
I think it might be. Or he's just like, we can play on, it's just a yellow, we can play on.
The referee is just not going to allow that, but I love that from Charles Bidwell. Ingenuity.
Just trying to pass the ball down the line where the assistant referee's in a better position to claim it. But anyway, it now falls towards the back stick. Cleared by the Knights, who've now got their third slice of cheese in this first half.
That one well earned. That was a poor challenge from Bowman.
Yeah, I'd say it was a particular slice of amber on replay as well. I think getting, well, I don't even know, maybe getting a smidge of the ball saved him from anything worse or genuine contact, but it wasn't the greatest looking challenge live I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't think he can just calm down a little, because he's threatening to boil over, and we don't want to see those types of challenges start to take over the game, which they may well do if the players start to feel aggrieved out there, as Knights now get a free kick in a promising position. The one by Austin Yost. And there'll be a few candidates to take this one. So, opportunity, looks like Waddy Castaneda standing over it. Take his best to test Pitchford, but a pretty good spot where you can get it up and over the wall from this kind of range. What can Castaneda produce? He's noted for his work over the dead ball. He blasts this one high and wide, went for power and never really gave it a chance.
That one's ended up on the just about the literal Valley Road there, rather than the actual back of the net inside the ground. He'd want that one back for sure. Marty Castaneda, and Pitchford slowing the game down a tad. And probably kicking that ball away as well. As Pitchy launches this one well over halfway. Hill and Muller. And now Stone. Lovely looking ball towards Connor Park. Bowman in front position there. Now Park long throw. Oh, drops it towards Stone. And I think he's kicked that one straight out of play. And out for a goal kick. So after a frenetic 5 minutes, the game's slowing down a tad as we go towards half-time. Still 0-0, a rare scoreline at half-time in the NPL Tasmania. But one that's a bit less of a surprise in a game of such magnitude. First v second, point between them. I'm probably going to say Knights slightly happier with this scoreline, especially with a home game the first weekend of September to come between these two sides, as Schmidt goes up against Lamb, who prevents the corner kick. Throw in taken quickly, Naden lays it off towards Schmidt. Barton again stands strong. Sison tracking back deep. Connor Schmidt trying to roll Toby Barton. He gets the ball in the acrobatic attempt from Nick Burns, and Pitchford across to claim that one. It was a spectacular effort from the Knight striker.
Yeah, just didn't quite get the power, but the technique, fantastic. It was a good ball. Did so well to get that one on target. Nick Burns just needed a little bit more power to beat a keeper of Pitchy's ability. And in the end, a good save, but jeez, sublime technique from Nicholas Burns there. Would have been one of the goals of the year, that. And certainly, in terms of the enormity of it, about as big as it could have been. So, Pitchford keeping that one out. But the other thing he's really had to do in this first half, but answers the bell when he needed to. Just played off of Bowman for a throw-in. Tick towards half-time here. This massive clash in the NPL Tasmania title race. Still not thrilled with that decision. Joel Stone winning the free kick. And just leave that one for Raf Reynolds and head up the pitch.
No,
he's thought better of it, decided I will take it after all. So, from very long range here, Joel Stone. We'll see if he can find the head of a teammate. He blasts this one to the top of the box. Harrison was there. Ooh, just beating out the keeper there was Lamb, but running out of room. Mulroney even.
I'm still surprised Joel Stone took that, but it was a decent enough delivery in the end. Barton right in the right place. It's looking hard. And both teams here not opting for many short goal kicks here this afternoon. 3 minutes plus only a token minute of stoppage time. Park underneath that one. Bidwell getting there in front. Now Barton. It's going to find the touch very close. There's Cameron on the sideline here at Valley Road. Bowman. Quite on the same wavelength with Muller as he tries to turn away. Bidwell against Mearns. Pushes Naden out of the way, but can't get the ball to him. Newcastle, I haven't seen Whitey on the ball too much here this afternoon. The game's kind of been going up and over his head for the most part. As Hill takes it quickly. Now Stone. Well, we've seen Whitey Castaneda in the game now. It's kicking Connor Park in the back of the leg while he was trying to pass it forward. Really the type of game where kind of diminutive midfielder can really get on the ball and spray passes around too much. We've seen sometimes when Joel Stone gets on it have up to 5 players around him immediately.
Yeah, it's going to be just producing that one moment of magic, isn't it? You're not going to get, a dozen chances to create opportunities or shots. You might get one pocket of space later on in the game, and what you do with that may well shape the outcome.
Absolutely, as Stone takes another free kick from inside his own half. Plenty of distance on that one. And eventually the Knights clear. Solid 5 iron there from Joel Stone. That one more of a pitching wedge forward, but that one just getting towards Lockie Hart. Daniel Sison. And Dennehy lurking, and Hart puts his left boot through this one. Barton towards Lamb. Harrison whacking that one forward, and Reynolds doing likewise. Naden towards Bowman, who has a long range shot and plenty of power on that one. Pitchford looked like he had that one covered the whole way, but a good sider from Jack Bowman.
An unlikely source. The long range shot there, Jack Bowman.
I can't remember him scoring too many from that kind of range.
I can't remember him attempting it, to be honest. Very reliable defensive player who's pretty handy at getting up and down the flanky plays, but usually just opting for the cross. He's fair blasted that one, and he kept Pitchford on his toes.
Yeah, cross, or at worst, the person at the back post ready for, you know, a 6-yard volley on goal or similar, but rarely 20-25 out as Hill knocks it forward. Wouldn't be more than 10 seconds, I reckon, left in this one. As Lamb looks to create one last opportunity. Barton. Reynolds launches this one forward. Connor Park. Too much pace on that one for Dennehy. Lockie Hart again. He's come out and collected most crosses and corners with confidence here this afternoon so far. We've seen, certainly in seasons past, not so much this season, that'd be a tactic for opposition sides. As Castaneda now out towards Naden. Mearns. Mulroney gets the cross in, does Naden towards the back post and off the crossbar from Austin Yost. Deep into stoppage time. The Knights rattle the woodwork of the strikers, and that would have been an absolute sucker punch before half time.
That's the best chance of the half there. It was a great run from Nick Naden. I thought he got fouled, but stayed on his feet and managed to put in a bullet across after he kind of got barged in the back a little. Picked out Yost to perfection, who made firm contact with the header. Unfortunately, probably too firm a contact, because it just didn't dip in time for him. Straight onto the woodwork. And Devonport, perhaps fortunate to still be level heading into the break after that. The Knights unable to convert, but well in this game. 0-0 the score at half time. But we expected a tight, cagey affair. That's what we've had. And all still to play for in the second 45, Paul Hunt.
Plenty to play for in this top of the table clash. You've seen some pretty good attempts at goal like that one from Austin Yost. Plenty of niggle in the middle of the park as well. Glenorchy Knights with 3 yellow cards in that first half. But both sides going without a goal at half time. And this game poised on a knife edge. First v second. Do join us again in about 14 minutes for what should be an enthralling second half between first and second in the NPL Tasmania ladder.
Biddy. Come on, mate.
And we're back for the second half here at Valley Road. Too busy discussing the Olympics here and just realised all the players have wandered back out on the field. No mucking about again from the referee. Getting this one underway. 0-all the scoreline between first placed Devonport Strikers and second placed Glenorchy Knights in this big top of the table clash. Lucas Hill knocking that one full. Doesn't look like any changes from either side at half time. Devonport rarely with an early sub. They are the definition of the opposite of me on Football Manager in that regard, as Geordie Muller wins a throw-in on the far side. Continued to be a sun-drenched Valley Road, not what we see in all the time in August, but wonderful conditions for football. And Knights looking to get back on top of the table as Yost up against Reference. Pitchford clearing that one. And Andrew, what are you expecting this second half? More of the same, or maybe a bit more open and free-flowing?
I think it'll be much the same. I think it's going to continue to be a pretty physical contest. Some pretty tough challenges flying in there. There'll be a lot of aerial balls into the area. And I wouldn't expect an onslaught of chances or goals, but I thought as the first half wore on, the better the Glenorchy Knights looked, and they'll be looking to pick up right where they left off here with Castaneda over the dead ball, who bends one into the air, and oh, it almost caught Pitchford out for a second, but always going wide of the mark, even though when they bounce in the area like that, the uneven surface, but Pitchford, I think, is safe enough in the end.
That one always looks terrible from about halfway as well. When you're standing behind the goal and watching a game, you're pretty confident. When you're standing kind of the halfway, you never really know where that's going, as Pitchford knocks this one long. Lovely turn from Dennehy as Connor Park tries to find some space and go around the outside of Bowman and just keeps it in towards the near post, but Lockie Hart has that covered off at the near post and claims again. He's looked pretty confident here this afternoon, has Lockie Hart. Sometimes not the most confident, particularly in the air, but I've been impressed with him so far this afternoon, as that one's thumped clear by Devonport. I've been wanting that one to roll out. It's not quite going to have enough on it. As it goes to Hill, and they turn over possession. Lutmer striding full up against Joel Stone. Charles Bidwell sliding in his Lutmer, and they'll pull it back for the free kick. No advantage allowed there from the referee. As well, they get this set piece underway. We'll just quickly go through the subs for both sides. For Devonport, there is Taylor Last, Thomas Pearce, the backup keeper, Dom Smith and Cody Sturziker. Just the four on the bench for them, while the away side have more on the bench than the home side. You don't see that too often in NPL Tas, as we'll go through Knights in a sec. Stone launches this one forward. Good header! Oh, what a save from Lockie Hart. Diving across to his right. Scrambling towards that post. And there's a fantastic save from the keeper just after I pumped up his tyres.
Oh, top class from Lockie Hart. Superb reflexes. Gets the big right arm out to it and just keeps it out. Good purchase on the header. That is superb reactions from Hart, and keeps his side level. They've got a corner to defend here, but it could so easily have been 1-0. Great reactions from the keeper there. Stone now lobs a high one into the back post. Back into the area and then deflected home, and the Strikers have taken the lead. Well, they profit from the corner anyway. Bidwell puts it in, and Devonport, having been denied breathtakingly moments earlier, do go ahead and take the lead.
Bidwell with the first time shot, not the most likely of scorers, but again, not surprising, it's come from a corner. They've scored so many this year. It was whacked back in the box by Barton, and the power on the shot from Charles Bidwell, rifling that one into the roof of the net. And after being a little fortunate before half-time, Devonport Strikers come out firing and get the goal that they desperately wanted, as the Knights to get us back underway. And quick look at the live ladder. Devonport going 4 goals, 4 points ahead.
Where's our producer with the live ladder?
Where's our producer with the live ladder? We should have had that pre-organised here. One's out for a throw-in. Lucas Hill now taking these throw-ins with a little bit more urgency as Bowman trying to charge through a sea of blue shirts. Again, that one out for a throw-in.
I've seen in previous years when the strikers have been able to open up a gap, it's one that holds. And Knights need at least a draw here today. If they fall 4 points behind in the race, a team like Devonport, you just don't expect them to cede that over the final few weeks. They're seasoned professionals at this point, as a free kick has been blown. And it'll go the way of Knights.
One of those ones that, given some of the action in the first half, you may not expect to be called, but called on this occasion. Yeah, we were discussing Knights can just about content with a draw. Obviously they'd like a win, but they'd be content enough with a draw. They certainly can't lose. Relying on Devonport to slip up and then beating them, it's all ask, as Lutmer stands over the set piece. Looks this one centrally, and that one is going to be out of play, but Pitchford elects to keep it in. And goes the quick drop kick.
Is that it, Cody?
No, I just don't think he got the purchase on that he wanted. It did look like about with that kind of swing to the left that came off the referee. I assume it would have got called back anyway. If it did, as Yost tricking his way past 2 or 3 and wins the free kick. And the first slice of cheese going to a Devonport player this afternoon. Connor Park on this occasion. Yossi doing very well down on the far sideline.
Hard to tell with the shadows just how close to the penalty box that was. It couldn't have been too far away from being in the area.
Judging from where Cody's standing, it's really not that far away.
Kick in a dangerous spot regardless. Nice looking for the immediate response here to going down. They've got right back on the attack. And a good opportunity for Castaneda here. He sends it to the back post. He was looking for the mountain Lucas Hill. Not a bad target, but couldn't make that one work.
Yeah, trying to isolate your tallest player at the back post. Not a bad strategy from that, but Devonport, certainly one of the few teams that can match up body for body against pretty much everyone from the Knights, and they had their tallest player in Toby Barton on it. It's Devonport in their very Boca Juniors-esque kit that they're rocking this season. Launching this one through Pitchford. Connor Park getting forward, helping that one on. Brodie Dennehy's in a good spot here centrally. Just can't quite get there. And this time going towards the centre, cleared by Mearns. Bidwell. Luckily putting the foot down there is Nick Mearns on a slice of cheese, and there's no player out there but called back, believe, for a free kick. Joel Stone taking every free kick here this afternoon, no matter where it is on the park, just about. Outside of probably his own 18-yard box.
Understand why with type of delivery he offers over the dead ball, and some of those ones he's been putting in from kind of halfway. They've been asking some pretty tough questions for kind of hopeful long balls hit from your own half. His delivery's been pretty good from distance. This one probably another one he'll look to pick out a target rather than shoot from, and he does, just pitches it into the area and it slides all the way through to Hart, who gathers comfortably enough.
Managing to not touch anyone in the box there, that chip through. Not something you see too often, particularly when it bounces on the 6-yard line. Muller. Now, Joel Stone trying to do it all himself, up against Harrison, up against Muller. Joel Stone with the shot. He got plenty of bend on it, but pretty wide of the goal. Given a little bit of space there, Joel Stone. It's the current table, so it's not too bad. Obviously, just add 3 there for Devonport at the moment and make it live. Interestingly, goal difference pretty close between the two as well.
Shows how neck and neck they've been this year. It's quite the title race we've got so far, but Devonport looking to drive a dagger into the Knights' title aspirations here today. That would be what 3 points would represent here. They've started this half pretty well, the Strikers. Doing some nice attacking work. That not so good from Sison though, just gifting the ball back a little easily. Austin Yost out after this one, and he takes a touch and he surges inside. Yost, he couldn't quite get through though. It was nicely defended, and the Strikers will start back out the other way, trying to make something happen. There is the ever running Bidwell. He seemed to enjoy his work.
I think he's appealing for the throw in there. And I'm like, well, if it did come off, so you've just pushed 2 hands in the back into it, so just give the throw in. As Devonport now have a throw in. Down the line. It goes towards Bidwell, who tries to scoop that one in, but deflected off the Knights for a corner. It's going to be Raph Reynolds to take the corner kick. Another set-piece specialist of the Strikers, the Canadian centre-back. Plenty of options to aim for. Goes centrally, rising high as Sison, and hits the roof of the net. Does the salad artist.
They're really winning these aerial battles at the moment, aren't they? The Strikers, they do well just a little bit old-fashioned, I think. Get it wide and whip it in. That's every time they're putting balls into the area. The Knights' defence not looking overly comfortable, despite having a pretty strong backline with the likes of Hill and Harrison, Bowman. No slouches in the air, but they're losing that battle just at the moment.
You would think that the one side in the NPL Tasmania's tactic wouldn't necessarily work against is the Glenorchy Knights, but obviously their goal coming from technically a corner kick. It was cleared out to the 18-yard and then whipped back in, and then that's probably at least 6 corners they've had so far. A couple of shots off target registered, so that tactic's still working. As that one digs forward, Charles Bidwell getting in front of Yost, who Mearns eventually work it out. Mearnsy out towards Bowman, advantage paid from the referee. And Hayden, only one really forward for the Knights. Bidwell knocks that one out, but Strikers, since that goal, not really creating too much, as Chris Gallo gets to the top of his technical area. Now Dennehy. Lovely left-footed ball towards Lamb, who's got Sison in the box. Lamb sizing up his options, goes towards the back stick. Dinked towards Bidwell. Now Dennehy with the shot deflected, and Hart just getting there across, but a foul has been given in the build-up. So wouldn't have counted anyway, but that is much better from the Strikers.
Always a tough scenario for the goalkeeper when it takes that late deflection. Starts going a different way to which you're anticipating. If you've already made kind of the first step, can leave you no room to manoeuvre. Reacted pretty nicely there. Didn't matter too much anyway. The referee's whistle being blown. Lamb tried to put one through. Shouts for handball, but hand tucked right in next to the body. Would have had to amputate really for that not to hit there. Charles Bidwell, the goal scorer. Will it be the decisive goal? He runs into a little bit of trouble here and has his pocket picked by Naden, and Nick Naden now looking to get him behind. The numbers across to deal with him illegally, however, and a free kick given against Kieran Mulroney, going the way of Nicholas Naden.
Kieran Mulroney getting a tip there from our boomers, I think, there, and I don't mean old rich people, I mean our basketball team there, just screening off the Knights player while charging forward. Surprised. I think because he hasn't committed too many fouls here this afternoon, he'll get away without a slice of cheese. Will Kieran Mulroney. He's arguing the point pretty strongly, and while we've got a small break in play, a quick tangent, the other game on at the moment, Lonnie City v Clarence Everest, Jared Linger celebrating his 100th game, and everyone from Lonnie City getting Jared Linger face masks for the team photo beforehand. That is Absolute quality work there.
Jeez, you talk about cult hero status.
I absolutely love that. So, love your work, Lonnie City. But keep watching this game as title decider.
Tune into the second half of that one.
Yeah. Watch that one later as this one chipped in towards the back stick and cleared by Barton. Out for a corner. Good save from that bloke in the background so it didn't end up in his ute. Knights seeing if they can do to the Strikers what they've done to them over the dead ball. It's Marty Castaneda to take.
Came within inches of opening just before half-time from a corner of their own. So they have posed questions the other way.
Former AIS and under 17 Joey Marty Castaneda over this dead ball as he gets plenty of loft on this one. And Pitchford, a rare fumble from the Devonport keeper. Mulroney bails him out. Hill tries to whip it back in. And now the Strikers on the counter, and that's a crucial challenge there from Nick Burns. It was Bowman and Lockie Hart. All sorts there at the back. That could have been calamitous as the long shot was on, but Lockie Hart only really got back to about his penalty spot, which is where that ball ended up.
Right, the challenge that one from Burns moments ago as they've turned it over in a dangerous area here, but Lutman's able to bail them back out with a good challenge of his own. He was absolutely off to the races there as this one's lofted forward by Castaneda. A chaotic ball down there, and in the end Charles Bidwell steers it away only so far as Lutmer. Swings the long ball over the top looking to release Yost, but smashed away from him as the Strikers hold on as we go past the hour mark here at Valley Road. Strikers holding sway, but Knights knocking on the door. And a card has been issued here to Connor Schmidt. Not entirely sure what that one was for. Maybe a challenge after, I suppose, the last kind of 69 seconds. There hasn't been a stoppage, so something earlier in the passage of play, maybe?
Yeah, potentially. I was completely following the ball there and didn't really see anything of note there. But another slice of cheese dished out for the Knights. As Yost uses his body well and then honestly just falls over there on that occasion. But the long ball forward not doing anything, and Lockie Hart trying to get it on his preferred left foot. Harrison on to Burns. Strong challenge from Barton, but illegally so according to the referee. He runs far away from the scene there, does Toby Barton. Again, as we saw in that first half, plenty of niggle in this one. The difference between that first half, a goal being scored early enough in the half. The Strikers 1-0 to the good. The impetus on the away side to continue to push forward as Castaneda, a long searching ball towards the back stick, and Pitchford rises high and claims that one, does the Doctor. Great ball out towards the wing. We'll find Jordan Lamb, but Castaneda tracking back. Bidwell. Real crowd favourite is Stone. He's about to get a dose of dairy for that challenge, and he is not happy about it in the slightest.
Yeah, he felt he copped the studs in himself. He's slamming for the challenge. Felt he copped the imposing set of studs in his thigh there as he came in from the side. I reckon there must be kind of a yellow card, maybe persistent fouling, rather than that on its own.
I generally think it's because Stone got up and the other guy stayed down. I legitimately think that's what it is.
I don't know.
I could be completely wrong there, as I often am.
Anyway, play continues, and it has been a very physical battle all afternoon. There's no denying that. The challenges have flown in. Plenty of physicality out there.
It's just one of those ones where it looks like they've both done the exact same thing, and one's got a card and one hasn't. But anyway.
The Strikers won't get the throw-in on this occasion. Stone felt he had rights to it. They'll be looking down metre by metre here, the Knights. Just getting a little bit of field position. 25 plus stoppage time for them to find an equaliser. One they badly need if they want to hoist the league title this year, you fancy. It'll be very, very difficult if they cede a 4-point lead to the Strikers. Certainly not something we've seen Devonport do in recent years. When they've built a lead in the title race, there's just been no reining them in. And will that be the same with the lead in this game, or can the Knights conjure something here? It's been almost an old-fashioned set-piece battle for much of the afternoon here today in terms of the best chances being created. Charles Bidwell, the goal scorer. Reynolds charged down. Spilt in the middle though for Stone. Toby Barton, impressive again today. The Strikers defender as they build nicely here. That's a lovely looking pass. With the defence just able to clamp down on it. Naden nods it up in the air. Barton. Schmidt. Now Naden coming through with it. Joel Stone though, and he has the raking through ball. That's cut out. Back on the attack through Bidwell. Of the Eddie variety. They'll look to drive down the flank in his customary manner. No way through there though. The Knights shut the door. Now look to launch a counter-attack. Won't be brought back for a foul. Play allowed to continue. So Strikers through Sison. Poor pass from Sison, although a little bit lazy there from Muller, just letting Dennehy back in on his blind side. Bidwell. His effort charged down. Spills into the area. The cross will come in, but the flag raised. So they survive a spell of pressure there at the back, the Knights.
Yeah, good to see Eddie Bedwell continuing to stride forward down the flanks. He's been moved around a fair bit this season, even popping up in a real central midfield role where he stays pretty much in the centre, but now he's got a bit more manoeuvrability in this formation to still charge down the flanks, which is what I think his best skill is. He has a great first 10 yards of pace. As Lockie Hart gets us back underway. Cleared towards Schmidt. Sun gradually moving away from Valley Road. The whole ground now in shade as Bidwell knocks it out in front of him and gets in a foot race with Hill and Castaneda. Hill coming across and a fair bit of his shirt, but play allowed to continue. The Knights eventually end up with it. Mulroney. Dennehy trying to track back, but the foul now called by the referee. Another set piece for the Strikers. As they have done, still getting all the tall timber up. Reynolds, Barton and Mulroney up from the back. Really using these to their advantage. Joel Stone. Probably his worst delivery of the afternoon. He might get another chance here and does. That's much better from Stone. Cleared. And hit first time and goes wide of the goal.
That was going.
Similar to Jack Bowman's shot in the first half. A real fizzer, but always going wide. And now Reynolds getting forward. For the first time in this contest. He's going to play defensive mid as Harrison goes sliding in. Reynolds staying forward for the moment. Connor Park up against Bowman. Good delivery there from Park, but a bit too much on it. Right down the throat of Lockie Hart. Only the one player forward for the Strikers on that occasion.
He's doing a good job using the space out there on Valley Road, knocking it around, making the Knights players chase them. Just making it tough for them, but an attacking opportunity here perhaps for the Knights. It was just the wrong ball from Yost on that occasion. 21 minutes remaining. Time becoming a factor, and the Strikers well aware of that. They lead up all the seconds where they can. They'll just try and take as many minutes of these final 20 out of it as they possibly can. They can have only about 10 minutes of actual football played. They'll be delighted with that. Yeah, this one's knocked long into the middle of the park. Defence doing its job. Such a tough unit to break down as they now look to get on the attack through Lamb. Drops it off for Stone. First time little dink. Well, didn't quite execute it. Not too bad. Dennehy made a nice little darting run there and slipped his marker, but just couldn't combine with him on that occasion.
I did like that idea from Joel Stone. You can catch the defence a little napping there because they expect you to hit the byline and then cross it in. Just that first time ball as Reynolds whacks that one clear. Schmidt. That's the return from the throw in. Naden. Now Lutmer. Haven't seen a great deal of Nick Naden here in this second half. Now Tyler Harrison popping up on the wing. Charge down. It's Naden back to his feet and getting a few Bronx cheers from the Strikers crowd. Harrison again. Don't often see him out this area of the park, and he'll stay there to take the throw in. 20 minutes left for the Knights to potentially get an equaliser. And as they take that quickly, it could have been a foul throw by the looks of it.
Drawing mirth from the locals. Oh mate, loving that.
Yeah, they do love having the partisan fans just on the inside of the Gordon Rimmer stand, and Toby Butt now thinks it's a free kick. I think he's confused as you don't see a great deal of foul throws given in the NPL Tasmania. We see it a little more frequency in the Women's Super League, but not too often in NPL Tas.
Not the most common occurrence. Is that going to be a foul on Barton there? It is. Went down a little easily, Naden, but there was contact, and down he goes and gives them another look in the final third here. A chance to swing something else in. They've got under 20 left now. As Castaneda comes across to take, as we can see. 24 is what the stats keepers have it at. And pretty much all of those 24 have just been followed up by knocking the ball into the box, no matter really where it's been on the pitch. This one in a pretty good spot is driven low, and it's hit first time by Lutmer. Just didn't quite wrap his boot around it properly. Maybe could have done a little bit better there, Lutmer. Minor Pitchford's goal. 1-0 to the Strikers it remains.
Yeah, those deliveries, particularly from free kicks when they're low like that, you expect them to be cleared by the first man. This one falling to Lutmer there after Joel Stone missing that one. Pitchford again using up most of his allotted time without it being obvious to take that goal kick. Naden, good flick on there from Charles Bidwell, and now Stone has room to work. Harrison holding him up well. He's forced to go back to Lamb. His first touch took a bit of a bobble and he charges inside. Back towards Stone, drawing Harrison out from his preferred position, and I think that's out off the Strikers there by the looks of it. No, taken quickly. Barton throws it over the top of his opponent's head. So Harrison knocks that one into touch.
Come on.
That went in, but not quite on the same wavelength as Stone, as that's a good dummy there from Lutmer.
It was the right idea, and Tyson initially looked like he was about to make that run. Unfortunately, right as he pulled up to stop, that's when the throw got launched. There was some room in there, and he just lofted it over the top beautifully for him.
It was lovely, just over the top, like a little pass in basketball again, just lobbing that one over the top.
So it's not quite making the runners to the benches. No sign of imminent movement. Both managers content, it seems, to back in their 11 players they've got out there. I suppose they think they're the best 11 players and don't want to sacrifice perhaps additional quality for fresh legs, might be the thinking here. So we head towards the final 15. There'd be some tired bodies out there, I would have thought. seen heavier Valley Road pitches, but certainly it's been a physical game out there, which would take its toll.
Wouldn't surprise me if Knights brought on Cal Griffin for the last 10 minutes. At the bench for the Strikers, Tom Smith with the most experience, but in defence, so you could see an extra body put back there. You would think Cody Sturzikas are likely to play the game after this, as the card is at the ready for Connor Schmidt. And I think he knows what that means. Is he already got one?
I thought he got one in the first half.
Oh, I was sure he got one about 10 minutes ago. Or has it gone the other way? I mean, that yellow card before must have been for the Strikers player.
Yeah, well, there you go. It looked to me like he was showing it to Connor Schmidt. It was the one where time stopped. It was about 90 seconds before. Yeah, he must have been showing it to the Strikers player then. Okay. Either that or he shouldn't be on the pitch.
Yeah.
Anyway, into the book goes Connor Schmidt. Maybe he thinks it's one for Connor and one for Daniel. I'm not sure. The Strikers cross it in near post. There to shut it down was Lockie Hart. No, it must have been to the Strikers player.
Apologies for that confusion out there. It did look like he was giving that straight to Connor Schmidt earlier on. This is still, I think that's 5 now. Slices of cheese for the Knights so far in this game. Sison saw in that foul count earlier. Had plenty of meaty challenges as Muller gets his foot on the ball. Bowman, challenge from Mulroney. Plenty of space for Joel Stone. And his pass is under hit. He tries to get it back off Harrison and does. Lamb pushing forward. Gives it back to Stone. Gets through the middle, but third defender coming across to clear. It's Lutmer. Has another go, but straight to the feet of Harrison. Long raking ball from the captain, looking for Yost, who hasn't had much service in this second half. Hit the crossbar in stoppage time of the first, the best chance the Knights have had so far. Knights bench bringing up a full complement to an away game, but they don't look terribly warm if they are likely to come on. There's Park. Plenty of space to run into Connor Park. Lockie Hart, affected by the air horn from behind his goal. Sison. Good block there from Geordie Muller, but they'll just see time tick away here as Mulroney jogs as fast as he can walk to take this throw in. Looking to go down the line. Sison. Bowman for the Knights. Getting it forward as quickly as possible as Barton mops up. That one's out for a throw, so 12 minutes left for the Knights. Try and salvage something this one and get their title hopes back in action as that one is cleared by the Strikers. Schmidt leaving that one for Harrison. Still surprised. You'd think the Knights sometime soon at least will have to make an attacking change, but they might not need to here. Naden's cross towards the back stick, cleared by Mulroney. Bowman throwing in the step over and hitting the byline, but Connor Park clears that one out for a corner. Another set piece opportunity for the Knights.
They certainly look dangerous from their corners today. Titchford a couple of times hasn't been his usual domineering self in there at attacking the area balls, but hit the post in the first half. Can they find the goal here to knot things back up? Castaneda swings it to the back post, too deep there. Lucas Hill up against Barton. He has to go give chase to it, the big mountain. Barton gets a foot in, did well. prevents the corner and they're able to clear it out. There's all hands on deck at the back though, so nobody back here in this half of the ground. Lutmer tracks it back and with a closing speed there, flying through the middle. With Lamb just tearing down on the keeper. Bowman. And we tick towards the final 10 here at Valley Road. Will it be another ground out clean sheet in the big game for the Devonport Strikers, doing what they do best? Or is there going to be a late sting in the tail here? As it stands, the Strikers would go 4 points clear. Stone trying to disguise his intent there. Yeah, it didn't quite work out. Through to Hart. Knights starting to run out of time here, Paul Hunt.
Yeah, they certainly are. The Strikers, in terms of keeping possession and trying to run down the clock in their attacking sense, not doing the greatest job at the moment. Maybe still searching for a second in their mind with passes like we saw Stone attempting before, as Reynolds clears that one, but not seeing too much corner flag action or similar as Jordan Miller digs that one out to Yost. Battling away against the taller bodies, and Reynolds, he did well to pull out of that challenge and does exceptionally well to mop up the second clearance. He was going in full tilt till he realised Yost's ankle was in front and went, whoop! Not having that. There's Harrison, who's been creeping further forward as this half goes on, the centre-back. Good cross there from Harrison, and what a header from Connor Schmidt in the centre of the park, unmarked. And that has made it 1-1. The Knights, well, we did think the Strikers were looking a bit too comfortable. The Knights back in this one.
And they slice the cheese to Nathan Pitchford, I think, for a bit of pushing of Yost afterwards. It's 1-1. They've hit back. Tyler Harrison been fantastic down the right. Swigs it in. Schmidt heads home. I really hope that first yellow was for a Strikers player. We've got some controversy now. It's 1-1. The Knights have done it. And as you'd said, Paul, just moments ago, they hadn't done a great job keeping a hold of the ball, the Strikers, killing this game in the professional manner we're used to. They left the door ajar. Connor Schmidt has just burst on through.
Yeah, the thing that really noticed me that is that they didn't have anyone remotely close when that corner was cleared. I'm like, it really shows they're pushing players back. They don't often keep someone straight at halfway, but there's usually someone within 30 metres of that. Dennehy was charging it down, but he was getting there a bit late. And what do you know, Tyler Harrison, the centre-back, who maybe should be playing wing-back with crosses like that. That was fantastic from the captain. And now, which of these sides will push on? You'd like to think it's probably Devonport who'd rather the win. As we discussed earlier, the next game between these two sides and the final one down at KG5 on the artificial. As Barton ends that one clear. Castaneda towards Yost, trying to turn around Mulroney. Austin Yost. And Mulroney does just enough and does even more to win the free kick as well. Good experience from the captain. Strikers usually so good at grounding out games. We'll have to go in search of another.
Confirmation that first yellow was for Lamb of Devonport.
Wonderful. I'd like to hear. You just could have acted up a bit more, Jordan Lamb.
Cody just needs to not flash in the general vicinity.
Yeah.
Just get right up in his grill, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I completely agree.
The pitfalls of commentating from studios in 2021.
Was that ref from, was it Congo? One of the early ones that we had in an Ollie Roos game. It was very exuberant. You definitely knew who got a card at all occasions in that game at the Olympics earlier on. It was 1-0 in the former Italian derby. Who knows what we're going to have to call that derby with the Clarence and Hobart Zebras merger, as all eyes on this game, cleared by Hill. Charles Bidwell digs that one out. Holding it up well. There is Austin Yost trying to get around a few players, but now Reynolds sliding in as Castaneda. Reynolds losing that underneath his footing, but using his futsal skills to claim that one back. Sison screaming out for this one. Touch from Jordan Lamb. Drops the step over around Harrison. Jordan Lamb goes near post, but scuffs the shot. And goes wide of the mark, and now another dose of dairy being dished out. And well, looks like it's for Wadi Castaneda.
Jeez, it was a great run from Lamb. He's just needed to put that on target. Should have done better with the finish, really. It was a fantastic run. Got past two, beat them all ends up, got into a good shooting position. Just pulled his effort. At the very least, needed to be putting that on target.
It was a nice hole had been opened up in that far post too on that netting. Even had a player in front act as a shield in front of the keeper, as well as Lutmo. It's the free kick for a bit of afters after that clearance, and gets it. So 5 minutes left. As both sides now looking like they're going full tilt for the win here. Harrison launches that one forward. Julie Muller shielding that one and dinking forward towards Naden. Should be a Knights throw, and it is. No, reversed by the central referee. Again, 85 minutes and no subs. I actually don't have the stats on me, but there's maybe too many games without a substitution in the NPL Tasmania. It's Reynolds knocks this one forward. Flick on from Mearns. Now Connor Park. Charles Bidwell. Breaking ball towards Eddie Bidwell, who is collected by Lucas Hill while knocking that one forward. That's surely a slice of cheese. I think Lucas Hill knows that one. He's trying to say get up, but that was as obvious a dose of dairy as we've seen here this afternoon.
Plenty of yellow cards issued out today. That was about as blatant as any of them. Knew exactly what he was doing, and arguably had to do it anyway. So they'll get everyone back behind the ball here, and Stone will get to work on the dead ball once more. The strikers now searching for a goal. The gap once again at the top, just a single point. Thanks to Connor Schmitz. 8 level ahead. 1-1 the score. Stone's dead ball delivery has posed questions all afternoon. Can he find something good here? He'll chip it in deep. It's flicked on off a Knight's head and rolls out for a throw in. So still a chance to turn the screws a little here. Into the area goes Lamb. And his cross charge down, it'll be a corner. He knew what he was going to do there. Just waited on him and then executed the block nicely.
The success, though, that the strikers have had in building pressure from corners, I think he's okay with that, Jordan Lamb, as they'd be approaching double-digit corners here, the strikers. Joel Stone taking them all from this side of the ground. Can he work another piece of magic? Joel Stone, plenty to aim for in the box, goes towards the far post. Good clearing header there from Lutmer. Sison charged down by Schmidt. Strikers continuing to keep it in their own attacking 18 as Charles Bidwell crosses that one, cleared by Hill. Plenty of space again for Jordan Lamb, up against Tyler Harrison. Lamb getting back on his right boot and deflected out by Lucas Hill for another corner, and it's all Timber. Comes forward again for the strikers.
Just keep knocking on the door here, the strikers, into the final 90 seconds of regulation. Can they find a dramatic late winner? Once again, it's Joel Stone getting to work. Floats it to the back post, it's flipped away. Sliding is Reynolds, and the referee's whistle didn't go. Well, that's not dealt with. Eventually, it's cleared away at the second attempt there. Wasn't the most convincing defending, but they get it on out of there. Naden, and the whistle's gone.
There's a player down on the deck still in the 6-yard area, but that Knights defending very last ditch, particularly after the ball was lofted towards the back stick. Bowman getting in each other's way, but eventually doing enough. So we have a minute left plus stoppage time. Whitey Castaneda it is, back to his feet. Ready to get back on the field, so we'll see a little bit more stoppage time added on with this. Lucky hard elects not to pick this one up and finds it close towards his bench. And it will be a Knights throw, a quick head check for the Devonport Strikers player who's down on the deck.
So looking like we're set for a draw here, barring a stoppage time winner. And that gap will remain tantalisingly at a point. And they've still got one more clash against each other in KG5. September, I think that one.
4th.
September 4th. Put that one in the calendar. Of course, as it stands, that could be the most decisive of days.
It's getting a big circle in my diary when I get back home. Definitely be keen for that one.
After a 4-0 thumping last time, I think Knights, I'm sure they would have loved to win it, but a draw, not a bad result at the end of the day. Their fate's still very much in their own hands if they can get the win in this return home fixture. And after a fairly big thumping last time, they'd be happy with it. That said, they'd love 3 points even more, and they're going to try and claw them here. As in the corner, Castaneda getting to work, or Yost rather. The numbers see it away from him. Mulroney there with Connor Park. A chance maybe for the long throw.
There's just such a big gap between these two and the rest of the league this year, whilst they obviously do have other games to play as well, and the surprise can happen. It would be a shock if it didn't come down to that September 4th game, as the throw-in goes into the box through Yost, working his way to the byline, and the Knights get a late corner. It was stoppage time in the first half where they had their fantastic chance through Yost. Can they snatch a win from the set piece here in stoppage time of the second half? Not pushing absolutely everyone forward. For Lucas Hill still up there, Eli Lutmer as well. But not in any great hurry to take the set piece, that's for sure. Austin Yost goes across to take, goes near post on this occasion. And a free kick has been given with a bit of a skirmish behind play as well, with the player down on the deck. Certainly was for both sides when the head clash occurred. And it's Mearns who stayed down, Sison. I mean, a little bit of comedic afters as they run away from the field of play. Mearns slow to get back to his feet. We'll see a few more seconds elapse.
So, last chance saloon type stuff now for the Devonport Strikers or Glenorchy Knights. Is there a late twist in this one? Or will the title race be further extended here? One deflects out of play. It'll be a Strikers throw. Certainly a bit more urgency about them as Barton launches it long. Fairly aimless, but he got a good 25 metres, so good field position. Barton dashes up once more there. Determined to have one last opportunity here at Devonport. Will Barton just go short to Stone here, or is he going to go further afield? He does. He goes to launch into the box. Headed back centrally. That was a little dicey. Bidwell out after that one. Charged down well by Yost though. Bidwell will win the foot race. And just plays it off of Yost for the throw in. Don't know how many minutes were signalled. There was a stoppage for a minute or so in stoppage time, but you'd have thought there can only be seconds left in this one. Devonport trying to get one last look. They're going to get field position once again. The extra ball comes back very quick. And now the cross comes in. It's a good looking one for Stone! Oh, he had the opportunity, Joel Stone. It was a delightful ball into him. And he just couldn't direct it goalward. And that might have been the moment right there, Paul Hunt.
Yeah, that was the chance. The quick ball delivery back from outside the ground. Knights with the deliberate tactic of trying to clear it as far as possible, not working on that occasion. Joel Stone peeling off the back of Geordie Muller, who didn't track the run. A free header, but knocks it wide, and I can't imagine there is long left. We might have another 30 seconds at most. Muller whacks it high. Reynolds flicked on. Stone up against Harrison. Lockie Hart all the way out to his zone, clearing it into the grandstand. Real ready zone areas there from Lockie Hart.
Come on, Cody, go full copper here. I want 9 minutes of added time for no apparent reason other than it's compelling.
Wouldn't be opposed to that in the slightest. From the former mullet of infallibility in the middle, Nathan Code. And this time, the Knights' tactic of clearing the ball as far as possible does seem to have worked. As I think both balls ended up on the second pitch there for a moment. Barton ready to throw it back in. So we're into the 6th minute of stoppage time. This time Harrison thumps it clear. And there goes the whistle from Nathan Code. And it is 1-1 at Valley Road in the first v second top of the table clash. And arguably Knights will be the happier side. 1-0 down after a goal from Charles Bidwell early in the second half. But what could be a crucial goal from Connor Schmidt with about 10 minutes to go. Levelled it up, and that's the way it stays. 1-1 at Valley Road, and the title still on a knife edge, Andrew. Yeah,
it's still the Strikers to lose, but certainly the Knights did flip the script a little with that very, very late goal. They're still going to have to be the ones to win this match, to win the title by beating them the next time they play. They're going to have to win that. Devonport will probably be in a position where a draw will do them. That's an advantage, but not the worst result, and certainly from an intrigue point of the league. A 1 point gap as you head into the final straight, a pretty good position for it to be, and perhaps not a place that the NPL Tas has been in all that often, really.
No, certainly not. We've had a few seasons of runaway winners, or the title decider being about 5 weeks before, but this year it looks like it is going right down to the wire, which for us neutrals is fantastic. Thank you for joining us here at Slice of Cheese this afternoon. On behalf of Andrew Cooling, my name's Paul Hunt. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you very shortly for what is a continued fantastic NPL Tasmania contest that looks like it's going down to the wire with these two sides, Devonport and Knights. We'll see you next time.
Run the Sharks!